So hey guys, my name is Sukin Shetty. I'm founder and CEO of Tool Express. Tool Express is a startup where we sell industrial products to manufacturing companies based out of Bangalore. I'm also a business mentor. I've mentored more than 50 entrepreneurs. I'm also one of the mentor at Bringle. So in case if you need to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with me through Bringle. Today I'm going to talk about idea validation, which is a very important topic for an entrepreneur, for aspiring entrepreneurs who are looking to start their business, because this is one step where most of the entrepreneurs skip and they start their business and they fail. If you Google and find out what are the reasons for a startup to fail, so the number one reason is the market need, no market need. That is why I took this topic as the most priority topic for aspiring entrepreneurs who are going to listen to me now. And you will learn from this video. What you learn from this video is that you will learn what is idea validation, why validating your idea is required, and how do you validate your idea. It's just a simple topic, but it is very important for your business to survive. What is idea validation? Idea validation is a process of testing and validating your idea prior to launching your business. Say now you already found the idea, or maybe it's related to your niche, or you have seen something, and now you want to launch a business. But before launching business, this is one step where you need to do it, and many of the aspiring entrepreneurs miss it. Idea validation is very important before you launch the business. This is what idea validation is. If you ask me in detail what is validating your idea means, uh, to see if you have customers who will pay for your services or products uh, before you launch the business. So people miss this step, and they launch their business, and they lose up time and money, and they finally shut down the business startup. So this is what idea validation is. So why do you need idea validation? So as I told you, if you find out what is the number one reason for startup to fail is no market need. That means there's no customer who is ready to pay for your services or product. So that it's like more than 40% of the startups fail because of no market business. So you can imagine like why idea validation is very important for an aspiring entrepreneur, for a founder who's launching his business, and he, to avoid this risk, he has to do idea validation. So so they say that if you don't have paying customers, so that's not a valid business. So what does business mean? So business is actually you're trying to solve someone's problem, and you're generating profits from that, generating revenue or profits from your customers. So if customers are not ready to pay for you, then that's not a valid business, right? So now one more reason why you need to uh, do a validate your idea is that to avoid risk. So you're spending a lot of time and money in this business. So you say now you have an idea, now you wanted to do something on it, and you start working on it. You bring people, start working on it, spending more time and money in it, and then later you find out that no customers are willing to pay for you for your product or service. So that's actually a biggest risk, I would say. And many of startup experts, senior entrepreneurs, or investors would say they actually question you when you are pitching to an investor, that how did you validate your idea. So that is very important a step to do before you launch a business. So that's one reason where I would say that why you have to validate the idea. Just to brush up why you have to validate the idea, testing if the idea works, if it is working or not. Market a product faster. That is also a reason why you have to validate your idea. Minimize costs, check the demand, check the timing, prove you can sell the product. That is very important. Prove you can sell it. So I have done this step before launching my business. What I did was, uh, my customers are manufacturing companies. So I spoke to 34 purchase executives of manufacturing. I remember the correct point. I spoke in a sense, I either called them or I met them face to face, and I asked them about my solutions. So I had a marketplace model initially, and I spoke to them about this model, and they were not happy with this. So they were saying, see, I don't want to spend a lot of time in browsing products in your website. We are doing our job and we don't want to spend time in doing that. So you do that for us and we'll give you an order. So that is how I changed my business model. So from marketplace model, we became an omni-channel platform where we sell industrial production manufacturing companies in all the channels. Wherever our customer want us to be, we'll be there. So by doing that, I have grown 10x in 8 months. So I consider it as a very important step where which changed my business model and it became a success. So I also recommend many entrepreneurs. I as I told you, I'm mentoring aspiring entrepreneurs. So I tell them that this is one step you need to do before you launch a business. So you may have an idea. Who knows? There are other people who are facing the same problem what you are facing. So you need to know that majority of people are facing this problem, and the market should be big. Unless the market is big and there are no much customers paying for you, I recommend that not to launch your business. Go back to your drawing board, change your business model, talk to people again, try to understand if this idea is good, worth to work on, then launch your business. So next, I'm going to tell you how to validate your idea. So say now there are like simple steps involved in this. If you're looking to validate your idea, first step is that you need to know who are your target customers are. Say uh, uh, I would say, as an example, you can't sell a shampoo to a bald man, right? So you need to know exactly who is your customer before before starting looking to start a idea validation. So unless you're sure you know about your target customer, it is difficult. It is difficult to do an idea validation because you don't want to spending more time spend time in validating idea with wrong. Sorry, I got a call. Then one more. After knowing your target customer correctly, so you need to do business personas also, because unless you know your exactly who is your customer, you can't go for next step. So next step is you should know to do a elevator pitch. So in this elevator pitch, you need to know exactly like about a statement and details about your product. So once you're talking to someone, maybe to a target audience, so you need to know exactly what you're talking about. So they should understand it properly. Unless they don't understand it, you may not get proper feedback. So that's what I felt, because it is very important to talk to people. And when you're talking to people, if they don't understand, then you won't get a proper feedback. So say now, if you're talking to someone, maybe that person is your potential customer, and if he doesn't understand what you're trying to say, and he may not give you proper feedback, and what do you do then? So it's actually a failure in validating your idea. So you need to sit and properly decide on what will be your about a statement, what you're trying to do, what is your product about, what problem you're solving, what is the solution, what is the competitive advantage, because they may ask like they are using some other services, what is the difference between you and them. So that is one more thing you need to remember, that it is very important for your elevator pitch is that competitive advantage also. So these are the things which you need to remember before you start talking to people. So next step, you need to start talking to people. See, when I say talking to people, it can be a phone call or having face-to-face discussion. But there are a few people who do surveys. But I feel surveys are not that effective as you talk to people. Face-to-face, the discussions happen, that you get a fruitful feedback from that, rather than doing a survey. So if you're looking for if you want a positive feedback and a good feedback from potential customers, talk to people. Go and talk to people, or face to face or over phone. And I also strongly recommend not to go to your friends or family, because you may get a biased feedback. So talk to strangers. So when I spoke to my customers, they were all strangers. I didn't know them. So I spoke to 34. As I told you, I spoke to 34 people. That is what I did, and that's the third step in how to validate your idea. So then the fourth step will be building proof of concept. So why should you build a proof of concept? Because Proof of concept is the realization of your method of idea that demonstrates its feasibility. So when you're showing it to someone, when you're talking about a product to someone, you need to show a proof of concept also, that they understand the working of your product or your service. So proof of concept is also a very important step in idea validating, so that other person, the person you're talking to, understand. Say there are experts who say it as a 10-year-old test or a grandma test. So that means if you explain it to a 10-year-old kid, the kid should understand what you're talking about. Or you explain to your grandma should understand what you're talking about. So that is why proof of concept is also very important. When we talk about proof of concept, we also we can also talk about MVP. MVP is minimum viable product, or prototype. You can say prototype. These are two different terms, but you can have a MVP or a prototype. So why do we need that? MVP is very important. As I told you, if you have a product which is usable, which can be used by customers, then it can be validated easily, and you get correct feedback from customers, and then you can tweak some changes. You can do whatever you want with your product, however customer wants. So there are a few software companies or an app, they do a beta testing or trial or something like that. I did a trial for 3 months to see how customers behave, how they buy. I wanted to understand the process because I'm new to this industry. MVP is very important. I would suggest you need to have a MVP or a prototype of a product, whatever it is. Go to customers, show them how it works, test it out. You can test it yourself also. I would say a sample of 50 or more than 50 customers should use it, or users, I can say. Best example to give you an MVP is a Dropbox, where CEO of Dropbox, Drew Houston, made demo video. He made a demo video about a Dropbox. So he explained it to people, and he put it in different platforms, and he had a waiting list of 5,000 beta customers. From 5,000, it increased to 75,000 beta customers. So you can see the power of MVP. So Dropbox, you can, rest is history. You know what happened after that. So I would say MVP or a prototype is very important stage in the in validating your idea. So next, it's simple. You can talk to senior entrepreneurs. There are entrepreneurs. You can find them in LinkedIn or any other social network, or if you know from a common friend, you can talk to them about your idea, about your product. You can ask them how it's gonna be, how is the market, and all that. You can ask a lot of questions to them, so they know, because based on their experience, they read about all these industries, different industries, and they may give you feedback on that. And there are few investors also. These investors will be doing some research on different industries coming. Different trends, upcoming trends. So you can talk to them also. And also, when you're doing your validation, you can also look at your competitors, how your competitors are doing. So there may be direct competitors, there may be indirect competitors. You cannot say you don't have competitors. Look at them, how they're doing. So you can look, by looking at them, you can find a lot of loopholes, or you can find some gaps in your process. Don't see gaps in their process. See what is that different, and what is that missing in your process, and then you can do some changes. These are the steps are very important for validating your idea, because if I, in my experience, if I wouldn't have validated, I think I would have not grown so much, so fast and so big. One more example I would like to give you is my friend, who is also a startup founder. He had an edtech startup. I'm not going to go details in that. So he was building his app based on students' feedback. Okay, so he built and he designed his app, and he did everything. He spent more time and money in that, and then he launched his app. But what happened was, the students, they're not going to pay for this for his app. The parents of the students are going to pay for his app, so they were not ready to pay for his app. So he see, what he had done is not wrong. So he spoke to people who are users. He designed that, but he was supposed to talk to parents they are doing something which will help their kids. So he did do that. So what happened after that? He had to shut down. So these are the reasons where people don't validate, and even if they validate, they don't talk to right people. You talk to right people, your target customer, target audience, talk to them, ask few questions about your product or service, see what they feel about your product, and if they want some changes, think. You can. You look at the pattern of the feedback you're getting. How much percentage of people are not agreeing with your product? Who are how many percentage of people are agreeing with the product? So by looking at the pattern, you will make out that whether your idea is good or not. So this is very important before you launch a business. Most of the entrepreneurs don't do that, and that is why more than 40% of the startups fail before they launch. Within 6 months or within 1 year, because they don't get customers, and nobody is ready to pay, and it's not a valid business, right? If you don't have a paying customers, it's not a valid business. They have to shut down. So that is why I wanted to talk on this on this topic, especially. Even when I mentor people, I talk to them about this initially, and then there are a few people who come back to me saying that it didn't work. The idea they were talking about to me, and when I told them about idea validation, they have to do this, talk to people. They came back to me saying that people didn't agree to this idea, and they stopped this. Instead, they stopped working on this. It has happened. It is real, and see, you need to understand that it's not only your problem. You shouldn't work on only your problem. You need to work on what people want or need. So you should see that whether people are there who are facing, or even people facing this problem too, and they are looking for a solution. That's what I did, and I think most of the entrepreneurs do that, and I suggest you to do this. So that's all from my side. Thank you.